Hola a todos! Today we will be looking at the preterite and the imperfect, this time through the lens of reflexive verbs. Before we jump in, let's go ahead and review the difference between the preterite and the imperfect by looking at their uses. So we use the preterite for when we want to convey actions that are completed. They have a clear ending, a clear start. These are usually in a list of things to do, things that you did. So the preterite, we start with S. We use Simba to help us remember the preterite. S stands for a single action, something you did once, or an interruption if something was happening and then boom, something happened. The main event of your story, beginning action to say something started, alternatively when something ended as well, and then similarly for an arrival and a departure. We use the imperfect. We use cheated to help us remember imperfect, and generally imperfect is for ongoing or habitual actions, things without a clear ending. So let's start out by talking about characteristics and descriptions. And then H is for health. For emotion, you use the imperfect to talk about someone's age, what time it was, most commonly for an endless activity or something they did habitually, and also to say what the date was. Now the imperfect, if you're telling a story, the imperfect will kind of set the scene. It'll be your setting. It'll be like providing background. And then the preterite is what you would actually want to use for the plot. So use the preterite to move the plot. You get it? Preterite, plot. And then use the imperfect to set the scene for what was happening. Now let's go ahead and review the preterite endings. Go ahead and take out that orange highlighter, orange pencil, orange, whatever you want to use. And we'll do our preterite endings. Fill them in, or pause the video and fill them in, and then we'll check your work. Our preterite endings are aste, o, amos, astes, and aron. The ER and IR endings are very, very similar. We have iste, yo, imos, istes, and yeron. Now remember that there are also irregulars and stem changers in the preterite. The imperfect, we're going to do in pink. Our ARs all end in aba, so we have yo aba, abas, aba, abamos, abais, and aban. Similarly, our ERs and IRs, instead of all having aba, they have ia, and then we add our endings ias, ia, iamos, iais, and ian. Remember, there are no stem changers in the imperfect. That's why we love it. There are no stem changers. There are 3 irregulars. Era is what we use for ser. Iba is what we use for ir. And then veía is what we use for ver. So let's look at a couple sentences and then determine, hey, is that using the preterite or is that using the imperfect? Go ahead and fill them in yourself, and now we will check them. Nosotros acampábamos en Yellowstone. That ábamos tells us that is the imperfect. Comieron al aire libre. They ate fresh air. That is preterite. Yo di una caminata. Preterite. I forgot to translate them. We used to camp in Yellowstone. We ate outside. I went on a hike. Ustedes hacían unas parrilladas. Hacían Imperfect. Tú surfeabas cada día. That is imperfect again. You used to surf every day. ¿Quién montó a caballo? It's the preterite. Who rode a horse yesterday or last week or when you were 5 or something? Now that we have the preterite and the imperfect, let's go ahead and see how meaning changes depending on what tense we use. I'm going to look at some uses in the preterite and then some uses in the imperfect. So if I said, él se quedó en un hotel, that implies that whoever it is, he stayed once and he's done staying. This implies a completion to his stay. He's no longer staying there, it's done. Or we say, se quedaba en un hotel. This could be a habit. It's something he used to do for a while. He used to stay. Or it could be that he was staying before something else happened. It could be setting the scene. Those are both fine. Te acostaste a las 10 means you went to bed. That implies a single action. It's something you did once and it's all done. Te acostabas a las 10. That's more like a you usually went to bed at 10. Maybe it was a habit. Next, me afeité por la mañana is I shaved and I am done shaving. It's something I did once. Me afeitaba por la mañana, on the other hand, implies a habit. Or maybe I was shaving when I was interrupted by something else. Se pusieron la ropa. She put clothes on and she's done. So it's more like she got dressed and she is dressed. She's done. Whereas, oh, that's they. They got dressed or they're done. And then se ponían la ropa. That's like they used to put clothes on or they were putting clothes on. Again, before they got interrupted. Nos peinamos juntos is we combed our hair and we're done. That's it. Or maybe it's in the context of something else. Like I showered and then I combed my hair. Or we showered, we combed our hair, and we got dressed. Boom, 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 done. Then nos peinábamos juntos. Maybe we had a habit of combing our hair together. It's like some weird bonding ritual or something. Maybe again we were combing our hair before something else. And finally, te maquillaste bien implies that you put makeup on, like today, and it looks good. That it's done, it's completed. And then that it happened once. And then te maquillabas bien, that's you used to put on makeup. Or you had a habit of it. You regularly did that well. Should be a makeup artist or something. Regularly, yeah. So again, the preterite is kind of for like you snap and it's done. You did it once and you're all set. And the imperfect is more like ongoing things you used to do without a clear ending. For the rest of our notes, we're going to look at 3 sets in the present tense, and we're going to decide what tense they're in. And then we're going to use our conjugation knowledge and put them into Spanish. So what's important to remember here is these all have the same tense. These are all the same group. These are all the same group. Okay. So here, he used to get up at 7. I used to wash my feet. You usually fell asleep. We woke up They always got dressed. These are all going to imply the imperfect because these are habits. These are things that don't have a clear ending. We will want to use the imperfect here. For all of these, where it says, he gets up, I wash my feet, you fall asleep, we wake up, they get dressed. These are all, I threw you a curveball. These are all in the present tense. These are what we do normally. And then finally, he got up, I washed my feet, you fell asleep, we woke up, they got dressed. These are all going to be the preterite. Now that we've picked our tenses, we will want to conjugate appropriately. So we determined that we're going to use the preterite down here. These are for actions we snap and they're done. In the middle, we're going to want to use the present for things that we kind of just do regularly. It's like normal, whatever. And then finally, the imperfect, again, were things we used to do without a clear ending, kind of ongoing habitual actions. So let's start. He used to get up at 7 o'clock. Now, to get up, we're going to want to use levantarse. Now, levantarse, that's a reflexive verb. Let's quick review our steps for conjugating a reflexive verb. Remember, reflexive verbs are actions that we do to ourselves, and the infinitive form of a reflexive verb will end in se. So what we're going to do is we're going to start out by taking that se and moving it to the front. Then we'll change our se to match our person according to our reflexive pronouns. Then we conjugate the verb, checking for stem changers and irregulars. So let's go for it. He used to get up. Let's take that se and move it out to the front. Se. And then se still matches he, so good. Then levantaba. Then there are no stem changers, and this is not irregular. So se levantaba a las 7. Take a shortcut and write the number. I used to wash my feet comes from lavarse, which gives us me lavaba los pies. Próximo, you usually fell asleep, dormirse, at 11 p.m. Te dormías a las 11 de la noche, but I ran out of room. And we woke up, that's despertarse, giving us nos despertábamos. But wait, Miss Van Dyke, it doesn't say we used to wake up, it says we woke up. Yeah, great question. That's because in English, we don't often say I used to wake up. For example, if I'm telling the context of my story and I'll say, yeah, when I was in 4th grade, my brother and I, we woke up at 6 in the morning. Cool. That's like what we did every day. Yeah. So if you notice in the context of the imperfect, because these are all imperfect, because I told you, then we're going to use the imperfect. And then finally, they always got dressed is vestirse. Because it's se vestían. Go ahead and follow those same steps and work on the present tense as well as the imperfect. As well as the preterite, and we'll see how you did. He gets up at 7. Should be se levanta a las 7. I wash my feet. Me lavo los pies. You fall asleep at 11. Te duermes. Oh, check out that stem changer. So good. A las 11. We wake up. Nos despertamos. And finally, they get dressed. Se visten. Oh, check out that stem changer again. So good. And then finally, using our preterite endings. He got up at 7. Se levantó a las 7. I washed my feet. Me lavé los pies. You fell asleep at 11. Te dormiste. Remember, even though it's an IR stem changer, it doesn't change in the tu form. Las 11. We woke up. Nos despertamos. Fun fact, because it's an AR verb, it's the same in the preterite as in the present. And finally, they got dressed. Se vistieron. This time we do have a stem changer, and it changes because it's in the eos form. So the good news is reflexive verbs work the same way across all of our tenses. You just need to remember the correct endings. That's why we have a cute little shortcut right up here with our endings. So nice. I hope you enjoyed the rest of your weekend.